filed for divorce and your husband completely changes the script. You know, he's the man you always wanted. He's the father you always wanted. He's doing all of the things that you begged for years. You need to still leave. Do not fall for love bombing. That's what he's doing to you. If he had this ability to do this the entire time, like if he had this capability in him, then he would have done it. What a level of disrespect for you to accept by staying with him when he had this ability and it took you having to go file for divorce, separate for him to actually change. Respect yourself enough to walk away. Respect yourself enough to know that he's going to go back to exactly who he was because you fell for it again. Just don't fall for it. Have you ever noticed that the discard phase of the narcissist when they have a new supply is so much worse when they have that new supply than when they don't? The reason for that is because the narcissist is so distracted and infatuated by their new supply that they do not care. They don't care about you. They don't care about where the kids are going to live. They don't care about anything. All that they care about is that euphoria that they're getting from their new supply. And because they're so excited from this feeling of euphoria that they're getting from this new supply, you become like annoying, like you're just a pain. They don't want to deal with you. They do not care if you're alive. They're so hyper-focused on their new supply and that feeling of euphoria and excitement that they're getting from that new supply that you just don't matter. You're a bother. And that is why when you're in that discard phase, and they have a new supply, it's more painful than it was when you were actually with the narcissist. And a lot of times, because they don't care about anything else besides their feelings and feeling this euphoric sensation, this excitement from the new supply, if you have children with that narcissist, they'll want to introduce the children to their new supply as soon as possible because the kids' feelings don't matter. Your feelings don't matter. And they do not care about the damage they're doing to other people. They only care about having new supply. This is a comment that I'm getting quite a bit on my video about how narcissists can't be alone. So a little backstory. I didn't know that my ex-husband was a narcissist. I'd heard other people use that term to explain how he was and who he was, but I did not personally believe it. It wasn't until I went to therapy and my therapist told me that I had just had like key signs of like being a person who was abused by a narcissist. So she told me a few things to get to kind of help myself and to kind of explain his behavior and then ways that I can combat it. So in that way I'm not feeding as his supply anymore. The first one she said, and I'm still reading it because it's pretty large, is Becoming the Narcissist Nightmare. This book is so helpful. Screenshot this so you can go and buy it. And then the next book I found online here, and it's this one, It's Not You. And this doctor talks a lot about narcissism and gaslighting, and she's fantastic.
So this woman got bored, decided to give up on her family, then open a TikTok account so that she can start sharing her so-called healing journey. What is so disturbing is that almost all these modern therapy sessions push the woman to divorce their husbands. Even when the husband tries to make efforts to save the marriage, it is seen as manipulation because these modern women are already convinced by their therapists to leave their marriages.
One thing that I noticed going through a divorce, separation or a breakup is when your partner is not well, like emotionally, mentally, whatever it may be, and they're trying to get help and you still have to go through with the breakup or the divorce because it's just too hard. Like you just need a fresh start. And 99.9% of you knows that it's over. It's done. You need to leave. It's done. But there's like that 1% that still has hope. And we put so much weight in that 1%, of hope. There's just so much that we ignore the 99%. And when we're grieving, that 1% has so much more power over us. And I just don't understand why.
The other day, I found out that my former spouse had recently gotten engaged to someone else. Now I'm about 2 years out from my own divorce, and let me tell you, it's still a kick in the gut. It sucks.
Well, of course it does, because a lot of women nowadays use divorce as punishment. And the thought of him being alone and hurt makes them feel powerful. So when he finds another woman, it pretty much means he's defying her punishment and taking away her power.
How dare!
Also, a lot of women still keep their exes in their orbits just in case the new guy is just pump and dump, so she always has a simp to come back to, and him getting married to somebody else throws a wrench into that plan as well.
I had all of these conflicting thoughts and emotions, even though I know I made the right decision and I'm so happy in my new relationship. It's still just a huge shock, and I really started to get in my own head about it. Just thinking like, why wasn't I enough for this person to change and meet my expectations? Why does it seem like he is able to do that with this new person? I must not have been good enough for him.
Bingo! Yahtzee!
To want to change and be different.
Or better yet, have you ever considered that, unlike you, his new fiancé loves him for who he is?
And then I kind of took a step back and thought, what if he is this way because of me? What if he learned these lessons the hard way through our divorce, and now he is able to show up differently with his new partner?
Yeah, you probably taught him what not to look for in a woman. Also, I'm pretty sure he has better safeguards in place in case a new divorce happens. Or at least he should.
And I feel like that's just a more empowering way to look at it. You are worthy of love. You are worthy of your expectations. And just because somebody wasn't able to meet them for you doesn't mean that it's your fault or you're not enough.
Translation.
What? What the fuck?
The reason why I knew I needed to get a divorce was because I have a crystal clear memory of me having with my husband and thinking about this other guy, and me knowing in that moment I have to divorce him, because if I don't get out of this marriage, I'm going to cheat on him. I'm going to try to find this. And I know that's really up, but I didn't want to be a cheater.
No, it's not. That's happened to me too.
Thank you for tuning in. If you found joy in my videos, please show your appreciation with a thumbs up. It truly boosts my spirit. Want to become part of our vibrant community? Hit the subscribe button to stay updated on all my amazing future uploads. Your encouragement fuels my creativity and passion. I'm excited to share even more with you soon. Let's continue this beautiful journey together.